When I first became a manager working at Walt Disney World, I had a leader that brought me in and gave me some advice that I never forgot. She said, when you first go into a new location, look around. Look at all of the cast members, which is Disney speak for employees. Look at all of the cast members and then pay attention to ones that are the informal leaders. So the other ones go and ask their advice, or they naturally gravitate to this individual. She says those informal leaders are going to be the ones that can help you learn the ropes the fastest. And if you can get them on your side, it will help you make the impact that you're wanting to make even faster. I never forgot that advice. It took me a while to figure out how to incorporate it successfully, but I never forgot it. And that's what we're here to talk about today. We're talking about the final myth in our 7-week series, busting the 7 greatest myths of leadership. The 7th myth is that only the boss can lead. This isn't correct. We know this because of those informal leaders. You may have even been one before you were promoted. All your peers were coming to you asking questions, wondering how to do something. They would run ideas by you. Before they had the conversation with your leader, they would come to you. Or there may have been somebody on your team that was that person for you. And so we know that it's not only the boss that can lead, but where does this myth come from? Many times as leaders, we try to hold on tight to the illusion of control, this illusion that we're able to influence things as much as we think we are. Yes, can we influence? Absolutely. Can we control? Not as much as we think that we can. And so looking at it, we want to understand what are those areas that we do actually have influence and control over, and what are those areas that we don't. And then what are the areas if we don't have control over? Who does? What does that look like? And when we're able to start breaking this down, we stop looking at it from this global perspective, and we're able to start breaking it up into these smaller pieces. And this is interesting. When we start figuring out who has the influence, then we can start moving our way through the organization in the way that makes the most sense and requires the least amount of effort. Because when we give up control, this amazing thing happens that we stop fighting for resources and we stop trying to figure out who's right and who's wrong. And instead, we just show up. And we show up in the way that is beneficial for others, which makes it beneficial for us too. Now, the other reason why we want to let go of this myth that only the boss can lead is because when we start developing our team, when we start figuring out who's good at what, giving them the opportunities to do so, and we start sharing these opportunities, it allows us to work at a higher level. So many times leaders are working at a level below where they should. We're doing our employees' work because we're not ready to let go of whatever that looks like. Instead of letting our employees do their jobs, getting out of their way so that we can do our own jobs. So when we think about this myth that only the boss can lead, the next time that you think to yourself, if you want something done, then you have to do it yourself.
If you want something done right, then you have to do it yourself. If it's, I might as well do it on time. I might as well do it because then it'll be on time. Or,
oh, it would take even longer to teach somebody how to do this and it would just do it myself. These are flags to let you know that maybe you're holding on to this myth that only the boss can do these things. This is the first step to busting this myth, is recognizing when it's showing up, because it can show up in really subtle ways that as a leader, when we're moving through our day-to-day, we don't recognize it. So your challenge this week, should you choose to accept it, is to identify one area where you catch yourself trying to hoard that control. Maybe, just maybe, you can look around on your team, find out who would be a good fit for this, and pass it on to them. Give them the opportunity to step up so that you can do the same thing and step up to where you should be as well. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me for this week, Unlocking the Magic of Leadership, where we dived into the 7th and final myth of our 7-week series, Only the Boss Can Lead. And you should be proud of yourself. If you hit every single topic over the 7-week series, we've covered so many topics. We have busted the myth that leadership is making everybody happy. Leadership is knowing all of the answers. Leaders are never wrong. Leaders are born, not made. Leaders are extroverts. There's only one right way to lead, and then the final one, only the boss can lead. We've learned a lot over these 7 weeks. Well done and congratulations. Have an absolutely amazing week. And don't forget, as always, you got this. I'll see you next week.